Jarvis. Thank you very much for coming on the Ground Zero podcast.
Mate, Sean, it's a pleasure to be here, buddy. What are you drinking there?
Proper 12 I'm drinking.
Very nice. I've heard mixed reviews about that Proper 12. I'm not a whiskey drinker, you see. I've still got my child taste buds.
It's smoother than Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels sort of blows your head off if you drink it straight. But yeah, it's not too bad. My brother got it me for me my birthday, so I was like, well, why not? Have a couple. Have a couple.
I feel like a right wuss now. I've got my water bottle. Classic squaddy, mate. Nalgene water bottle.
Mate, hydrate or die.
Yeah.
No, genuinely, cheers for coming on. I was just about to say before I hit record, I first heard you speak randomly on Talk Sport.
Yeah.
And I heard you on there and I was like, fucking that's interesting. Right. And I pinged you a DM. You must have missed it. Standard. You're famous now or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Missed it.
But then I followed up because you like popped up or something on one of my reels or something, like something popped up and I was like, I'll send him another one. Fuck it. And then you obviously replied and I was like, fucking spot on. Genuinely, I didn't know you were serving. Like I just thought you were just a random bod that decided to go on an adventure.
Yeah, mate. Well, yeah, I am still in the military. So yeah, 12 and a half years in the engineers. Spent the majority of my time at 5-9 Commando. Now I am a phase 2 instructor at Gibraltar Barracks. So yeah, loved it. Been an awesome 12 years. I'm actually resettling. I'm currently in a hotel room in Stoke, Kent. If anyone's watching this and thinks, why is this guy got 2 beds? All right, I'm not some weirdo that wets the bed every night. Obviously, if you do wet the bed, that's absolutely fine. But maybe go and see your GP. But yeah, so I'm in Stoke resettling. Love my 12 years, and yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, Sean. I'm sure we're gonna touch on that more and more.
Oh, 100%. What I really want to touch on, because obviously one of the reasons why I've obviously got you on is that world record that you're now holding.
I thought you were going to ask me about Talk Sport and Laura Woods.
Oh, she's incredible. My missus is going to kill me there now.
And you know, she's not only is she a very beautiful lady, she is a very nice person as well, mate.
Yeah. Were you in the studio or was it?
I was in the studio. So yeah, so when I got back from the row, so I did like 3 or 4 calls during the row with Sam, and then Sam and the guys invited me in. So yeah, got to go into the studio on the breakfast show, met Darren Bent, met Jim White. So yeah, it was really cool. Talk Sport were really good for me, and you know, I can't thank them enough for having me on and giving me that exposure, because it helped me raise £70,000 for Brains Trust, which is a charity really important, meaningful to me. So yeah, big thank you to Talksport and all the other media outlets. You know, I was on BBC, Sky News, all the local radio stations, Solent, the Echo, and so and guys like yourselves running podcasts. Thank you to everyone that had me on, and thank you for having me on here, mate.
Well, it's an amazing thing that you did, and especially for the charity that you did as well. But what sort of got you into the idea that I want to row that distance? How far was it in the end?
So it was 4,631 nautical miles. That is over 5,000 land miles. So a nautical mile is longer, and it's to do with the curvature of the Earth. So yeah, it was.
Flat Earthers won't like that.
Flat Earthers won't like that. Can we swear on it?
Yeah, of course you can.
They need to go and take their head for a shit, because the Earth isn't flat. All right, get over it. So yeah, where were we? Flat Earthers. The row. So yeah, it was 111 days, solo unsupported. And why did I want to do this? Probably overconfidence, arrogance, and then just being too stubborn to quit. No, it goes back to when I was a kid, mate. You know, I remember saying to my mum, I'm going to climb Mount Everest one day. And she was like, Jack, calm down. You're 5 years old. And I said, no, I'm going to do it, man. So I've always had this sense of adventure.
Yeah.
Deep inside me. And it was in 2000 and I think maybe 2017, 2018. A friend of mine, Duncan Roy, came back to our unit, 2-4 Commando. And he gave a presentation, and he just rowed the Atlantic as a team of 5. And I remember listening to it, and I was like, wow. And I was the first person up on stage afterwards. I was like, Dunk, mate, that was so Ali. And I was like, right, I need a bit of this in my life. So, I started thinking, planning, because at the start I was just a guy with an idea. I had no fucking clue about where you get an ocean rowing boat from. Like, do you need to go and do an ocean rowing course? What food do you take? So you just
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get on social media, you pester people, and then I had like a sponsorship deck that I made on like clip art that I was sending to companies.
Yeah, still have a bit of
And
clip
then,
art, mate.
yeah. And then all of a sudden, like some company goes, yeah, all right, we'll give you some money. And you're like, all right, oh, fuck, I've actually got to do it. So yeah, it was nuts. And it was really tough. And we did some really good fundraising events. So I pretty much walked slash yomped a marathon carrying a rowing machine up Pendle Hill. So if any of the listeners are from Lancashire, knows where Pendle Hill is up north. Yeah, so that was like 9 hours, raised £6,000 that day with my mate Tessa.
Fair
Had
play.
loads of, yeah. So it was because, mate, I was, what am I? I didn't have any corporate experience. I was a
Yeah,
bloke, I was a bod, as in like a squaddy. So I was like, right, what am I good at? Well, I'm good at carrying heinous amounts of weight
yeah.
for a long time. Bit of a grizz artist, so yeah, I'll do something like that, and it gained loads of traction. Like I said, I raised £6,000, and then eventually raised £85,000. That was enough to buy the boat, fill it with food, safety gear, pay for a weather router, all this stuff. And then yeah, we took the boat down to Portugal, pushed off, and then 111 days later, I arrived in Florida. Is the short story.
That is a short story. Cheers for coming. Thanks.
Yeah. And I'll see you later, mate. No, but I'm sure. Yeah, if you got any questions about a row, mate, fire
Oh,
away.
of course, of course. Like loads to start with. Like just to
How
throw
many,
out there, you're fucking
how many
mental,
times
by the
did I wank? That's normally the first one.
way. Yeah.
It's before, mate. Before you ask, mate, not that many, right? Because the ocean fucks you enough, mate. Once you've been fucked by rowing for 14 hours, you don't want to go back and rip the head off it.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it was a cool experience. So much happened. But the best way to describe it is like a grizz. Sorry, it's just a grind. Sorry, because for 14 hours a day you are rowing, and not every day
Yeah,
is
yeah.
high octane, big waves. You're not seeing sharks, not seeing marlins, not seeing whales, not even seeing ships. You're just plodding along. It's just blue, and you're just like, right, we just got a job to do, and you're listening to your music for the fucking 500th time.
So I bet you
Uh,
had like a hell of a playlist.
Oh, I had a few. Yeah, probably didn't have enough.
Yeah,
Ended up listening to a few 27 audiobooks during my time, which was awesome.
yeah.
I don't think I'll ever fucking have that conversion rate of
No, no,
of.
definitely not. Because you
So yeah, it was,
obviously, you got to keep your. I know you're focused on the goal itself of
mm,
rowing that length, but obviously keeping yourself going is obviously going to be a difficult task in itself. Like a lot of people struggle just to go to the gym on their own,
yeah,
but you're literally thousands of miles out at sea on your Todd. Did you have a Wilson or not?
yeah. I did have a Wilson ball. The lads got me a Wilson ball, signed it. That was fucking awesome. Yeah, so big shout out to the boys at work. But yeah, you just do, and it's a strange one, mate, because I think it's quite normal, or maybe not normal, but um, it was. I'm just like, yeah, but it wasn't until I've recently, the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, people have gone, Jack, no, mate, you're fucking not, you're not normal. Like, that is
What
bizarre,
is
man.
normal?
Yeah, what is normal? Exactly. Um, so yeah, but when you're out there, mate, you don't want to take a day off, because a day off on an ocean rowing boat, shit. Like
Yeah,
being in the cabin is like being in a coffin. You have to have the hatch closed, because if any water gets into that cabin, got all your electrics in there. I mean,
fucking
also
hell,
it
yeah.
can capsize if enough water gets in there, and it won't self-right. So it's hot, it's stuffy, damp. Like literally, you can see the mold growing on the sides of the cabin.
Yummy.
Not nice, yeah. So you just all right. Well, I want this to be over as quickly as possible. So I might as well get out on the oars and row.
Yeah,
That's how you keep going. But it's what I think what people struggle with. They never put themselves in that position.
mm.
That where ultimately, and that was a big reason why I did it, mate. You went to. Did you go to Afghanistan or
Yeah. I went to both Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah,
Afghanistan? Yeah. See, mate, I joined in 2010 as a junior entry. Then went, because we had to do our trade training, so that was 6 months as well as my basic,
yeah.
and then had phase two in there as well, which was 9 weeks. Then I went straight down to 2-4 Commando. And just because when I got there was February, so there wasn't an all arms until April maybe. By the time I passed my all arms, it was late July, start of August 2012. 3 Commander Brigade were taking out the Afghanistan Orbat, so I never got to go. And then I spent 7.5, yeah, 7 years and a couple of months there because I got posted in October 19. So, mate, I never got to go to Afghanistan, mate.
Yeah.
And I felt like my military career had not been a failure.
Like it's missing something.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So, and as well, I've been on selection. I got to stand up after the trees in 2017.
Oh yeah.
Which was really tough, mate. Really tough. And always
SBS or SAS?
Hereford, mate. Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, fucking Hereford.
Yeah, genuinely, that's where I'm from.
Beefy Boys, that burger place.
Yeah, that's my brother's one of the managers.
Fuck off, is he?
Yeah, one of the head chefs there. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. Yeah, it's fucking nice there, isn't it?
Shout out to the Beefy Boys.
Yeah, shout out to the Beefy Boys.
Sponsor me, you cunts.
Yeah. So, yeah, mate. And that was tough, mate. And I didn't really speak about that. Obviously, fucking hell, you don't want to be perceived as like one of those kids. Because there's a lot of, probably know from military, a lot of lads go on, maybe they fail the fan. Not saying there's anything wrong with failing the fan, but then they talk about selection.
Yeah.
Like
there's
a
fair few of those come from our regiment. Like they're like, oh,
and I'm
I went to do selection. Yeah, but anybody can volunteer to go to selection, mate. So
yeah, so many people. What I saw, mate, is I felt like so many people went on there with that, and that was their intention. They had no intention to pass. Like they turned up in absolute rag order, and they were like, "Fucking hell, I didn't think it'd be this difficult." And I'm like, "I don't."
Are you sure, mate?
You fucking idiot! Like, don't get me wrong, the hills is tough, but everyone knows exactly what's coming. Like, for 3 weeks, you're gonna be tabbing up the gaff, mate, with heinous amounts of weight. So train for it, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I didn't. But it was it, and the reason I do share it now is because I don't want people to look at me and think, "Fucking hell, is this guy that's never failed nothing?" Rose the Atlantic single-handedly. I've been there. I've fucking failed. I've tasted that bitter pill, and it fucking tastes disgusting. So, yeah. So I'd come off that, went to Jib, got out of like a fucking shitty relationship, and I was just like, fucking, I was more. And when sometimes you go to work, if you finish for the day, like, fuck no, this is gash. Like, what have I done today? It made a blind bit of difference if I'd have fucking not come in. So I was like, nah, I need to do something more. And then that's how the road come about. Yeah.
But still, having that sort of goal, that focus, and obviously you ended up smashing it is awesome in itself. One thing that I want to sort of draw on, because obviously, fucking the ocean is a scary fucking place.
Yeah, it is. Especially in like the pitch black when you're
yeah. I was going to come to that. Obviously, one of the
Bronco down Magaluf Strip.
One of the things I always sort of draw from, that I've always said is one of the most at peace I've ever been, even though I was in the middle of a war zone or 2 war zones at the time when I went, was obviously out in Afghan and Iraq. When we're way out in the desert, there's zero light pollution, so you can literally see fucking all the stars. And it's fucking peaceful. However, that is going to be nothing compared to the pitch black of the fucking sea.
It was dark, and there's a clip on my Instagram where I'm talking at night, and then I flick the nav light down, and it is pictures. Yeah. But I was surprised, mate. Literally, it's not far. I remember maybe after like 3 days, there was like no light pollution, and I was probably only 100 miles from the coast of Portugal. Yeah. So it blows your mind how quickly that light pollution goes. You see the stars, and there's this, I don't know, so I hope maybe someone's listening. When you smash there'll be stages with a light, and the water goes green like algae.
Yeah.
So it's black. The water's black, and then if you make a splash, it goes green. And it is one of the most
fucking mad.
Oh mate, it's something. Yeah, it's something to do with the algae, I think, or bacteria in the water. It's absolutely incredible, mate. But yeah, there was some scary moments. I mean, nearly capsizing, big wave hit me on the beam. got rocked over. I was like, fucking hell, like panicking. The walls have gone everywhere. The speakers out its little pocket. It was luckily landing on, but everything's flapping around. I'm like, jeez. I look over, mate, and there was a little Ferrero Rocher, mate, in my deck pocket, and it had gone missing. I was like, no, fucking hell, like instantly, or just thought I was going to capsize. Could have been the end of the row, and I'd forgotten about that within a second, mate, because I was looking for this Ferrero Rocher.
You lost your morale, mate.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
looking forward to that.
I was, because that's another thing I didn't get right, mate, was my nutrition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I took enough food, but I should have taken more. So I was like, yeah, pack light. Don't have too much food. You don't want too much food.
I might go fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty much it, mate. Didn't even take a rod though, so I couldn't go fishing. So yeah, pack light. Because didn't want much food waste at the end. Just taking some bad advice off people. And I was basically like having to make, I was having like a Ferrero Rocher one every 20 minutes when really you want to be having like 5 every 20 minutes. It's things like that.
Well, obviously, because you're burning a lot of energy.
Yeah, a huge amount. You reckon you're burning between 7,000, 8,000 calories a day. And like little things as well. So in some of my snack packs, there would have been like full share bags of Jelly Babies. Yeah. So, you really get into the weeds. So I think like a share pack of Jelly Babies is like 175, 200 grams. And you'd be like, oh, that snack pack. So I'd have 3 meals and then a snack pack a day. In that snack pack would be like some built on beef, some cereal bars, protein bars, mini Baby Bells. Not mini, but yeah, Baby Bells. It's funny, a few of those would go mouldy, but obviously it's cheese. Yeah, so it's cheese, so you'd eat them anyway. And people like that, honestly, so those Baby Bells had probably been packed in mid-November. Because we set off on the 3rd of December, so they were probably packed maybe even the start of November was when they were taken from the shelves in Costco and put in unrefrigerated. And then I was still eating them on the 20th of March. So
living the fucking dream there.
Yeah, mate. Like 4 months later, after they've been in a hot seawater.
Oh, stinky.
Yeah, I used to scram them anyway, because if they were mouldy,
you wouldn't give a shit.
Oh no, did I fuck? But it's funny, the reason I didn't give a shit is because obviously I was hungry, but you get so used to the same thing, because the basis of the snack pack was a packer built on 2 or 4 Baby Bells, a cereal bar. Was there something else? Yeah, so they were the three items that was in every snack pack.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have something different, a different taste,
a tangy taste.
Yeah, a tangy, mouldy Baby Bell. So that was interesting. But yeah, sorry. So going back to sweets, so you'd have like in a snack pack, I might have a 200-gram bag of Haribo or Jelly Babies, and then in other ones I'd just have like a Co-op own brand 45-gram of fizzy watermelons. So yeah, I just did get the nutrition right. Probably lost around 10 kilos, or maybe a little bit less, like 8. Yeah, I didn't lose a great. No, I think it was more probably 8 or 7 or 8 kilos. Yeah, so but landed in Florida and then had a burger, chips, milkshake. It's funny. I always get asked, "Oh, what was that first meal like?" What do you think it was fucking like? I've just been on rations for 111 days. Of course, it was delicious.
I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
It was full.
So. My mum goes to me like, bear in mind, mum's lovely, but she knows nothing about extreme endurance events. She ran a pub. Yeah, she ran a pub for like 22 years with my grandma and granddad. So yeah, wouldn't question her on that. But she was like, Jack, just be careful. You've not had real. And I remember looking at her, I was like, I've been thinking about this for 111 days, mum. Like, come on.
I planned every single item over and over again.
Yeah, I did, mate. Literally, I ate that, had all those drinks, and had a few like beers, Coronas, and then I think like a few hours later, I had like 21 chicken wings, and they were delicious. Yes. And then had a McDonald's on the way back to the hotel.
Oh, even better. Even better. Smashing that out. It must have been, like we were saying, how dark it was and whatnot. But obviously, the sea's full of monsters, man.
Yeah, man. Saw some crazy animals. So at the start. Saw some dolphins, some
Aliens,
whales.
mate.
To be fair, I saw this weird jellyfish thing.
Yeah, alien.
Alien, yeah, no, it could have been, mate. Because I was like, what the hell is that? So I like rode over to it, and then all of a sudden it just went like down from the surface. But saw a shark. That was incredible. Another thing, when I saw the shark, people
Was
were
it
like,
hunting you?
well, yeah, it was. It was stalking the boat. But people were like, were you scared? I was like, well, no, because I was in the boat. It's
Yeah.
funny that the Daily Star ran a story, and they were like, British soldier has life and death encounter with
Yeah,
shark.
because I was looking up when I was like, oh, he's definitely forgotten to give me a bio, so I'm going to do some little research, and I
Thank you very
found
much, mate. I did forget, and I was
I
literally
did I sort of knew the gist anyway,
yeah.
but I was like I couldn't.
When you said, oh,
Obviously,
I'll do it, I was like
yeah,
buzzing.
I saw the fucking green lid, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, he's definitely a commando. And then I looked at the cap badge. I went, that's not a Marine cap badge. What is that cap badge? And I couldn't quite get the angle. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's why I originally just put Army Commando on there.
Yeah.
Because I was reading through this article and it came up as like, it started off as Royal Marine. I was like, he's not going to enjoy that if he's not a Royal
No,
Marine. How fucking dare you?
mate. Listen to this, right? So our unit, it's funny. So we often get misreported as Royal Marines because lazy journalism.
Yeah.
And this isn't,
He's a sexy green lid, though.
it's a very sexy green lid. I mean, my yeah. Yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. Incriminate a few females. Funny, actually. Let me tell you a story about that. So, my ex girlfriend, we were chatting, and we were talking about, oh, is there anything you want to do in a bedroom and that? And she was like, oh, I'll dress up for you if you want. I said, oh, that's nice, babe. I said, do you want me to wear my uniform one day? Because I've done it for a few girls and they absolutely love it. And she was like, instantly the mood changed. She was like, well, you can go fuck yourself now. I was like, what? She was like, you think I want you to wear your uniform for me when you've worn it for other girls? I was like, but we weren't together then. Like, no, go fuck off. Anyway, went down a rabbit hole there. So my unit often gets misrepresented as Royal Marines. However, there was an incident in Norway in 2008, and I won't. Basically, there was a pub, there was a naked bar, 8 lads, and then obviously the journalism, the rumour mill added. I wouldn't even say 10%. I'd say probably 100% to it. And one of my old staffies, he goes, "Yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? When we're in the shit, they never get our unit wrong, do they?"
Yeah. Fucking naked bar.
Yeah, but if you type in, and anyone listening types in like 5'9" Commando, Norway 2008, I'm sure it'll come up and you can read it. But just know, subtract about 100% from there, and then you might have somewhere near the truth.
Why let the truth get in the way of a good story? As
Well,
they
let the
say.
truth get in the way of a good dip, mate. You know it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Definitely. Oh. My little fucking timer's popped up. That's good. Good timing. What was the feeling like when you first landed back in Miami?
Oh, mate, euphoria, like pure euphoria and joy. It'd been a really tough last 36 hours. I had to beat the current, get in, and then just seeing all my family was just, in fact, relief, mate, was the biggest one that I wasn't that nearly man again. Saw everyone. I didn't actually cry, mate. I didn't cry. I like welled up, got quite emotional on the penultimate day because I was fighting the current, didn't think I'd get in. I was getting pushed further and further north. I thought I might have to go another 100 miles up the coast to Jacksonville. So yeah, got in, and everyone, even my best mate was crying. My dad was crying. Obviously, my mum was crying. And then, yeah, it was just cool, man. It was just such relief, but it's strange, mate. It didn't last long. I was straight away when I got back. I was like, right, what's next? Within a month, I had a month off training, started to put a bit of weight on, got a bit of a belly. But just to let the body recover. But straight away, I was like, right, what's next? Because I never wanted to be this guy that was just a one-trick pony. Lived off that, dined off that achievement. And even though I'm super proud now, I know it's one hell of an achievement. But I finished in March, and then in the September, I was running a 6-day ultra marathon in the Atacama Desert, and that was fucking awesome as well, mate. Yeah, it's strange, mate. You run a 250k ultra marathon in the desert. and no one really wants to know about it because you've done the row.
Well, you went for a jolly in a boat, didn't you? So
Yeah, when well in the boat, but that was super cool as well. Big shout out to my coach Gus Barton. If anyone's looking to do
definitely.
the MDS or any of those, he's a great coach.
Yeah.
Can't recommend him enough. But yeah, man, in the Atacama Desert, the highest desert in the world, and again got my nutrition wrong. Listened to some bad advice, and anyone wants to take anything away from this, one of my big things would be run your own race.
Yeah.
Take people's advice, but always take it with a pinch of salt. So anyway, I didn't take enough food. Well, I took enough food to survive, but I was always hungry anyway. So I used to go around the camp every night. The guys that had gotten injured or the girls that had gotten injured or wrapped, I'd be like, "Come on then, so you don't need your rations anymore. I might as well have them." So there. Anyway, so this guy goes, "Oh, Jack, I've got a spag bowl for you,"
Oh,
and I was, "Mate, a good one, a good one. Yeah, you know it." Anyway, so he gives it to me, and I'd have a few mouthfuls. And I was like, fucking hell, this tastes like chemicals, like
oh.
horrible. Like literally, like someone had crushed up a load of paracetamol and made you eat them.
Yeah.
Obviously, do not do that. Anyone
No.
listening, we do not recommend that.
No, we do not.
No, we do not. So yeah, had this, and I was like, anyway, my mate in my tent goes, "Oh mate, let me give you some peri peri salt." She chucks some peri peri salt in there, and I'm like, fucking hell, it still tastes like chemicals, even though and now I feel guilty because he's given me loads of salt,
Yeah.
because you have to carry all your stuff. The only thing you get given is water at the checkpoints. And bear in mind, you have to leave every checkpoint with 2 liters of water.
Yeah.
And they take your tent everywhere. So you carry your sleeping bag, carry all your food, sun cream, all that good stuff. So I'm like, so I have a few more mouthfuls. And it's the second day, and I finished first. Didn't finish first. Finished fifth on the first day out of 140 runners,
Oh,
and they add up your time
it's all
for all
right,
the
isn't
stages. Yeah,
it?
you know.
Just
So mate,
40 runners.
I'm running, mate, and I'm in I think I'm in fourth place. Running, mate, and I get about 3k in. I'm violently sick everywhere.
Oh no.
Yeah, not good. Anyway, I'm like, fuck. Anyway, the guy overtakes me. I can't remember his name. A good guy, Aussie. Was he an Aussie? No, he's Canadian. He's Canadian. He's like, "Oh man," I was like, "Yeah, I'm good, I'm good." Obviously, it wasn't good. I was in clip.
Turbo
Anyway,
clip.
carried on running the docks on the next checkpoint. He's like, "You all right, mate?" I said, "Yeah. I just ate a little bit too much for breakfast." He's like, "All right, man." Like, lets me go. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, I can't be sick at the checkpoint, otherwise they might pull me.
Yeah.
So I crack on and I get to the halfway point, and I've been sipping my water. Anyway, so I get into the checkpoint, and open my water, and she's like, "Ooh, you need to drink a bit more." And I'm like, I was like, I really don't. um, so she's like, pretty much forces me to drink half my bottle, and she's like, "Yeah, let me fill you up before you go." And I'm like,
Cheers.
"Yeah, cheers."
Thank
Give me like,
you.
yeah. I shut that in. I'm plodding away, and I can feel it like all in my
Yeah.
stomach. Anyway, getting, I'm just like, I get probably another two. So I'm probably about 23, 24k in now. And I just think, right, I need to be sick. Take my bag off, just in the shade. I'm just like, hands down my throat, chucking up all this water. Mark, this Kiwi, he was a good guy. He's like, "You all right, mate?" And I'm like, "Mark, I'm in Bobbins." He was like, "Oh, go on, mate." Anyway, so he cracks on, and just fucking put me Bergen on or day stack, run in, finish about 15th. And I remember laying in the tent. I was like, "Jack, we can't have a performance like that." Everyone, because I was the youngest, not the youngest competitor, but I was like the youngest guy in the top 10 by
Yeah.
about 10 years. And I was like, everyone had sort of had a smirk on their face. Oh yeah, the young gun went out hot on day one. Now can't mix it day two.
Yeah.
So I was just in my tent, mate, like this, like David Cockins. I was like, I'm going to show these motherfuckers. I'm going to take them.
Who's gonna carry the boats?
Yeah. So no, that was just it. But so yeah, like I said, don't take anyone's dodgy food. I was tried to poison, but I managed to regain, mate, and ended up finish. I think sixth overall.
So was a
So,
geezer
yeah.
trying to fucking stitch you up, was he?
No, I don't think he was. What I think had
I hope
happened
not.
is
We'll find you.
we'll find him. Yeah, go Liam Neeson on him.
I hope
What I
it's
think had happened is that they're freeze dried rations. You see, so they're not.
ah, yeah.
Yeah. So what I think had happened is it'd been pierced. He'd then put hot water into it, obviously he had one spoonful and was probably like, "Oh, this is disgusting."
Do you
Spat it
want
out.
that?
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
have
And
that,
then
mate.
I was like,
Delicious.
yeah, stupid. I was like, yeah, I'll have it. I did, and then yeah, it's just yeah, migging.
Rats, mate. But to
Yeah,
be
really
fair,
horrible.
like you said, you smashed through it, got sixth overall out of fucking
140. Yeah,
140 competitors, and
yeah,
you were ill.
yeah. It was pretty nuts, mate.
Unbreakable mind, they might say.
Unbreakable minds. Yeah. Well, it's all that who I hold myself accountable, and when I tell people about these things, they hold me accountable, and I just can't. I just can't bear to let anyone down, and not only that,
Yeah.
to prove people right that think it can't be done, mate, and people that doubt me, because I've been doubted a lot probably in my life, and then it goes maybe back to as a childhood, mate. Like I had like dyslexia as a kid,
Yeah.
and so I never did great in school. So I always this isn't me like because one thing I hate is like I had the toughest upbringing, mate. Like I was from a council estate and I had to knit my own socks. Like I come from a great
Yeah.
family, but I did find school a little bit challenging. So yeah, I just always had
I
this
know how
fucking
you feel. I was very
yeah,
similar. I've got dyslexia and whatnot. They didn't find out I had dyslexia until I was in college, which was nice.
mm,
Um, I had to take one of those fucking tests, and they went, "By the way, you're properly dyslexic."
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh, that's good to know," because
yeah,
fucking secondary school just thought I was thick as shit.
yeah, yeah. I just thought I was stupid.
I always joke with me missus now. I'm like, well, I've definitely got some sort of ADHD as well. Like I keep
Yeah,
seeing these things pop up on my reels. It's how like how do you know if you've got ADHD? And it's got like a clip of a bloke and he's watching a movie and then all of a sudden he has to pick up his phone because he has to figure out which character he is and what other movies he's been in and all this sort of stuff. And I was
yeah,
like, I do that.
yeah,
But my
yeah,
missus is like, yeah, but you do that with everything. So even down to, I wasn't 100% sure why the clocks fucking went forward. I was like,
yeah.
I assumed it was to do with farming. But
I thought it was to do with farming. Yeah,
yeah, according to
during the war.
Google, that I Googled the other day, it was during World War One and then into World War Two. It was for fuel consumption.
Okay.
And I was like, I swear it was for fucking farming. That
Fuel
might be absolute
consumption.
bro science, but I got that from fucking Google.
Yeah, hey, if it's on Google, I believe it.
But yeah, I had to look it up because I was like, because I jokingly said it was like fucking 1200s or something,
Yeah.
just joking around
I
with my
I
missus. And then she was like,
I
no, it's this. And I was like,
I'm
hmm.
terrible as well. If I watch a film that's like based on a true story, I have to find out the true story.
Yeah. I
That
I
can
was a nightmare when I was watching The Crown with my missus because I had to know
yeah.
exactly which character was who and
Well,
how are they related.
apparently that is nearer to fiction than it is non-fiction.
Yeah.
I've heard it's not very historically accurate at all.
Mm. There's a few things that aren't quite right. But yeah, mate, it's coming up to your bedtime. You got to
Yeah,
phone your missus. Good night.
yeah,
Hello. You're at the adverts, so don't turn off. Don't turn off because I've got some good stuff for you. First up, going to talk about our sponsors. Kent CBD is our first sponsor. Now, CBD oil, as you know, has tremendous benefits, especially within mental health and physical health. Personally, I use it to help with my anxiety and my depression, but not only that, I also use it to help with the aches and pains of life in my joints, especially my ankles and my knees. But yeah, without CBD oil, I would have still been on my antidepressant tablets, which I'm no longer on. So, every cloud. And what we're going to do here at Granite Zero is we're going to give you 10% off everything from oil, muscle rub, jellies, bath salts, the lot. Yeah? Make sure you get in there. www.kentcbd.org. Put in the promo code GRANITE0 and get yourself 10% off. You are welcome. But also, if you're like me and you love a nice cup of coffee. Now, for me, I only drink one coffee, and that's Green Beret coffee. Now, I don't only drink it because it's out of this world fucking coffee, roast to order, grinded to whatever specific grind you want. But not only that, it's veteran owned and veteran run.
which, you know, hits me right in the feels. So make sure you check it out, Green Beret Coffee. Get yourself a nice cup of coffee. I drink it dark, just like my soul. Incredible stuff, incredible stuff. And what I'm going to give for you, I'm going to give you 10% off. So once you get to the checkout, once you've got all your coffee, your products, your apparel, whatever you need, get to the checkout and put in the promo code GZPodcast10 and get yourself 10% off. Courtesy of the Granite Zero podcast. You are welcome. Now, that's enough of me talking about this stuff. Back to the regular scheduled show. Check it out!
La Bosh. I knew that was going to happen.
Yamas Bosh.
Zibosh. I knew that was going to happen. I saw the timer and it came up less than a minute, and
I was like, we're never gonna make it.
Not going to make it. And I was like, oh, there you go. Dead. I was like, for fuck's sake. But it gives me a nice little segment into putting my ad in there.
Who's your ad? Who's your ad?
So I am sponsored by Kent CBD.
Okay.
They send me some lovely products. I can't talk highly enough about CBD oil, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I've got one from 4-5.
Yeah, I use what else do I use? I use he's got a real nice muscle balm. Helps with all the inflammation in my fucking knees and my ankles from yomping ridiculous weights.
What does he just send you product, or do you get
he
money?
sends me product, and whoever I get a percentage of sales when people use my promo. So
okay, nice one.
Promo Granite Zero, and Green Beret Coffee.
Oh, that's decent.
Yeah, it's a really nice coffee, to be fair. So yeah, it's sound bloke as well. Really decent. Other than that, I would love to have more.
Yeah,
obviously, because I'd love to give up my regular human job to sit in my shed and talk to nice people. But that's just the dream. One day.
How many episodes are you on, mate?
This will be 170.
Mate, that's fucking class, mate. Well done.
Yeah, I've had moments recently-ish where, you know, like I said at the start, people have dropped out through whatever reasons that they've got. Sometimes they just forget. Sometimes they like overbook. Sometimes they're real. You know, it is what it is. But when it happens 2, 3, 4 times in a row, and you're like, I don't know if I can be bothered to send out another fucking email to someone.
Yeah.
But then I'll get a gem and just like, I'll remember why I started it in the first place.
Yeah.
And then I'll speak to one of my mates down the road and just say, "Do you fancy coming up to the shed? We'll have a beer and record a podcast." And they're like, "Yeah." I've had a few of the lads that are part of my because I do a charity football team.
Yeah.
Raising money for Rock to Recovery as a shout out. I've had a few of the lads that are based in Kent, literally around the corner from me. We've literally chatted about football for like 2.5 hours. Got a bit pissed. It's some of the better episodes, I think.
Yeah, they are, mate.
Sometimes I feel when I get like the blue tickers and things like that, I feel like I have to try and interview them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want it to be in it. I want it to be like a chat in the pub.
Like
your story itself of rowing and now the run that you've done.
The run,
they're stories that you chat in the pub. Like you could even embellish it a little bit if you wanted. Yeah, I smacked that fucking shark in the head with my
Yeah. So I got the boat, fucking lassoed it.
I strapped it on there, lassoed it to the front, and it took me all the way to Miami. So
I know, mate. Yeah, and then I fucking shagged its missus.
Yeah. But
not
like, one of the best ones that I've had, which was one of the most random that I've had. I had JT from Black Rifle Coffee. I had him on the show, and the first time I had him on the show, it was mainly about obviously the coffee company, his service that he did with the Air Force. And the second time I had him on, we just went on a fucking random tangent about the Vikings because he's obsessed with the Vikings, like invading the UK.
Yeah,
he wants to do a Viking longboat row from fucking Denmark to the north of England, and he was like, I'm doing it. I was like, all right, but it was like a fucking History Channel podcast about Vikings.
Yeah,
and I was like, I only know a little bit about Vikings through the TV show. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Mate,
historian.
I've actually got a bit of a bone to pick about fucking Vikings, mate. Well, not Vikings, but people are like, yeah, I'm a Viking. I'm like, calm the fuck down, mate. You've got
Yes.
0.5% in your fucking
Yes.
genealogy.
Oh,
Chill out.
One thing that really grinds my gears is these people are the ones that sway depending on what is popular at the time.
Yeah, of course they do.
It started with obviously Gladiator.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a Roman centurion. You're
Yeah.
not. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not though. Then it was I'm a Spartan because of
Yeah.
fucking 300. Then it was
Yeah.
fucking Vikings. You're not.
Yeah, fuck off. I don't care.
You're Dave.
Yeah, you're Dave.
You're
from
Dave, and you
Slough.
do. No, I don't want to like slag him off, but you're Dave, and you do CrossFit. You're not
Yeah.
a fucking Viking. Shut your mouth.
Oh mate,
There's a bloke, and he fucking winds me up. I'm gonna go on a tangent before you go. And
God.
his reels fucking pop up all the time. It's this fucking long-haired bloke, like fucking something Swole. His fucking name. It's not Joey Swole because he's all right.
Yeah.
But he literally has a coffee. He takes a sip and then he spits it out, and he like goes, "Go to the gym. Go to the fucking gym." And you're like, "Who are you?" Right. I'll stop you there, pal. I've got a job.
Yeah.
I'll go to the gym when I've finished. Stop shouting at me. Also, how many takes did that take for you to do that without laughing at
What a
yourself?
waste of coffee. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, you've wasted your coffee. Also, you're in your back garden and you're recording it on your phone in your vest. Stop.
Yeah.
We get it. We get it. You're a
a
testosterone-filled man-child that is shouting at people because you're better than people because you go to the gym. Fuck off.
Yeah. No one cares, man. No one cares.
No one cares. Do better. Do something important like row to Miami.
Oh, stop it, mate. I mean, I did raise 70.
He did, apparently. He took a little trip in his rowing boat.
Mate, I really appreciate you having me on the podcast, mate. And I'd love to come on again sometime.
Oh, definitely.
Always have to meet up for Beefy Boys.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Love a Beefy Boys. But yeah, pleasure and the honour's all mine, mate. Right, from the first time I heard you speak on TalkSport to having you on now, it's fucking incredible. And the journey was incredible. Your journey is incredible, and the amount of money you raised is incredible. So
yeah, it's nuts.
big props to you, mate, and good luck with your resettlement,
mate. Awesome, brother. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Enjoy your phone sex with the missus.
Oh, definitely edit that out. Cheers, brother. Ta-ra, mate. Bye.
Catch you in a bit, mate. Catch you in a bit.